Today we have a kanji recap, 5 kanjis with dark etymology. Let's start this kanji by taking a peek of how this kanji used to look like. Is that an eye? Yes, it is an eye, pierced by a dagger. But why? This kanji used to represent subjugated people, those who were controlled or ruled over, and it came from thinking that people without the ability to see would follow the ruler blindly. Interesting fact. Another theory states that this kanji originally meant a slave. Slave owners blinded the left eyes of captives with sharp objects and forced them to be slaves. The own reading is min. The example is shimin or citizen. Here we have yukanna shimin, brave citizen. Do not confuse, citizen and clan are quite similar. After all, clan is the radical for citizen, though it is missing the I. This kanji has 5 strokes, and although it comes from a tough story, what is important is what kind of citizens we become. There is one thing no one escapes. No matter who you are, how strong, how rich, how loved, it comes for everyone. And in Japanese, that truth is held in just one kanji, the kanji dai. To get in depth with the history of this kanji, we must first look at the original Chinese shape. On the left, we see a shape used in other kanji connected to bones, remains, things that no longer grow. On the right, it is the character for person, a person no longer moving, a body turned into bones. Eventually, the Chinese character took the form of the kanji we know today, with the left meaning decay, while the right meant a person close to death. Fun fact! The pronunciation of shi, meaning 4, is the same as shi, death. Because of this, the number 4 is often considered unlucky in Japan, and you might find buildings skipping the 4th floor or guests avoiding sets of 4. Both the kun and the on readings are the same, which is shi. The examples are shinu, to die, and shinin, death person. The sentence is shinu hodo aishite, I love you to death. Do not confuse die with outside. Students tend to confuse these two radicals. The kanji dai has the death radical, while outside has the evening radical. We just learned a heavy kanji, but part of learning of language is facing all parts of life, even the difficult ones. What remains after fire? Not the flames, not the fuel, but the essence, the truth of what it was. Today's kanji means if so, but inside this kanji is the mark of something once burning. This character has 3 parts. The bottom is fire, the top left is meat, the top right is a dog. What a combination! Yes, this kanji hides a sad story, the one where it was all about burning the meat of a sacrificial dog, which gave the original meaning to this kanji, which was to burn. But the story continues. Today's kanji took the meaning of if so, as a representation of something transformed by fire. Then an extra fire was placed on the left side, which created a new kanji, which took the meaning of to burn. Fun fact! Today's kanji often appears as a suffix forming adverbs and adjectives, emphasizing a state or manner, like guzen or by chance, and hitsuzen or inevitable. The kun reading is shika. The example is shikamo or moreover. The sentence is Kanji quiz korenan to yomu? Shikamo. Kanji quiz, how do you read moreover? The on reading is sen. The example is shisen or nature and kozen or public. Do not confuse if so with silence. Can you spot the difference? If so, clearly has the meat, while silence has a village. When you get to see today's kanji, remember, it's not just a passive kanji. It's the quiet that follows the fire, the truth beneath the noise, the way things are when nothing is left to hide them. Imagine a single file line of soldiers, perfectly aligned, moving forward in unison. One step out of place and the other collapses. That's the essence of today's kanji, row or line. Let's break it down. The right is the well-known radical for soar. Now, to understand the left, we must first look at the original inscription, where the left represented a beheaded head with hair. But what does all of this have to do with the kanji row? Well, the display of beheaded heads would be in a row or line, for which this kanji took that meaning. Fun fact, the kanji row can be seen in the phrase retsu onasu, which means to form a line, highlighting the active creation of order. After all, this kanji isn't just about physical lines, but also about rank within a system, like in the military or social structures. The on reading is retsu. The examples are resha or train and keiretsu or series. The sentence is Kanko resha, rokaru resha no tabi. Train for sightseeing, a local train trip. Do not confuse row with example. Can you spot the difference? Example has an extra person. So next time you are standing in line, at a station, in a shop, or waiting for ramen, remember retsu, a kanji with a deep, dark history. Let's dive into the fascinating history of the kanji wife. Do you know this character has a secret past? Let's break it down. This kanji is divided into two parts. You probably recognize the bottom. It is woman. Now, let's look at the top. The character that looks like the katakana yo is a variation of hen, and the extra lines were the woman's hair. All of these parts together show the husband grabbing a woman's hair, symbolizing dominance in the marriage. There is a second theory that is not that dark. It says that the top part was hair with a hair accessory. Those accessories were worn by brides before the wedding. Fun fact, there are several ways to say wife in Japanese. Today we're learning tsuma, which refers to your own wife in a formal way. There are a few others, as we have yome, which is bride or honeymoon stage wife. Then we have kanai, which is your own wife, but it is more traditional way and a term used more by older generations. Finally, we have oksan, which is used for someone else's wife. Kun reading is tsuma. The example is tsuma or wife. The sentence is Tsuma to no jikan o utsukuru tabi. A trip to spend time with my wife. The on reading is sai. The example is I sai or beloved wife. Do not confuse wife with ginger. The key difference lies on the top. The wife is the hen grabbing the hair, while ginger has a sheep. Now, I got a challenge for you. What is the meaning of this word? Type it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate your support. Yay!